Good morning, seventh graders. Welcome to our technology class. This is week 22. So just a couple of quick announcements. If you are missing anything or you've fallen behind, please use the break to catch up. So that way when you come back, you'll just be all caught up and you can just start fresh, right? And won't that be a nice feeling? And so every week we have our typing lesson. So this week, the name of the typing lesson is Interesting Facts. This is our 5th one so far in third quarter. So please make sure you're keeping up with that. So every week we do have a typing lesson. If you do it, you get 100. If you don't, you get a 0. So it's pretty straightforward with that. And we've been going through our internet safety lessons. And this week we're going to be talking about, our topic that we're talking about is my social media life. And I feel like, you know, ever since COVID, right? Like everybody has been online so much more, right? Using technology so much more. And it's been helpful. It's had positive things. You can still do your class online. You can connect with your friends online. But there just comes a point where, you know, it can just be too much, right? We just need to get unplugged and get a break. And specifically with social media, it can really be overwhelming sometimes, especially if you guys have, like, say, an Instagram and you maybe you feel pressured that you have to post every day and you need to get comments and you need to get likes. That could be really stressful, right? Maintaining those accounts. And believe it or not, that's a real job. So if you really enjoy social media, but maybe you just don't want to deal with it for yourself, but you're like, you know, I could see promoting something. Lots of companies actually have social media. That's a real job. Social media marketing, social media director. And what you do is, say you work for a company, you manage their social media. You're the one that posts and tries to come up with different campaigns to advertise their products and get people to watch the videos and like the things. So it is pretty crazy that is a real job nowadays. And in the old days, when people wanted to advertise something, they would have to pay a lot of money to put a commercial on TV, or to put an ad in a magazine or a newspaper, right? Or make up little flyers to give in mailboxes. And now none of that stuff really does anything anymore because it's all about social media. And if you look at the things that make the most money and that take off, it's all because of people advertising through social media, right? And I think we talked about this, was it 2 weeks ago when we did the data lesson, and we learned about how, you know, they collect data and then they're able to market it online to their customer base, right? And it's the same thing with social media, right? Connecting, hey, like us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram for like discounts or whatever. Like us on Facebook for like the newest styles, right? And they're always trying to get people's attention. So if it's something that you like, hey, you might want to pursue this as a career, right? It could be something that maybe you're interested in doing, and then you could make your career out of it and you get paid to do it, which is better than just wasting your life on social media and you don't get anything for it. So if you make it into a career, I mean, hey, then at least there's something positive out of it. But you still do have to go to college and learn about technology and learn about everything. I mean, it's pretty complicated. I have a friend out in Seattle that works, and he used to work for Microsoft, and now he works for a smaller tech company. But his whole job is helping for people, like, say you have a website, and so, you know, when you go in Google and you search up something, so like, say you search up, like, for example, Christian schools, because we're at a Christian school, and we have a website. And you want to be one of the top 3 that pops up in the Google search. Somebody's job is to be able to figure out the perfect combination of search words, and then you can buy those search words on Google, so that way your website will come up first. And that's a real job, and it pays a lot of money. And so, but you have to study and you have to understand how the internet works and how it's all connected. And I know I'm getting a little bit sidetracked here, but I'm hopefully getting you guys to realize that if you do enjoy this kind of thing, you could turn it into a career. And you could even start taking some online classes right now about these topics and learning about them. It's called SEO. That's being able to learn how to gain visibility for your website or your product on the internet. And so if you go to something called Udemy, Coursera, these are huge websites. They have tons of online courses. Some of them are free. Some of them are pretty inexpensive. So many topics. And so if you really want to learn about something like this, there's infinite learning you can do on the internet. And that's like using it for good, because then maybe that's a career you want to go into and you already learned the skills, right? So you're using it for good. Completely sidetracked, sorry about that. But my social media life, we are going to be talking about the question, how does social media affect our relationships, right? And it can, oh my gosh, I mean, it can affect our relationships a lot, because if you are pretty much basing your relationships and your friendship on how much likes you, how many likes you have, and who commented on your picture or your video or something, you're probably going to be struggling a lot with your self-worth and your self-value if it's all coming out of social media, right? And that's something for you guys to think about. Like, how does it make you feel when you get a lot of likes? Are you like, oh, now I'm amazing, everybody likes it, likes my posts and stuff? Or if you get no likes and then you're like, oh, am I just a loser? Does nobody like me, right? So I sure hope you're not deriving your worth out of social media, because if you are, that can pose a pretty big problem in your day-to-day. You're probably going to be pretty miserable. It's going to be like a roller coaster ride. When you get a lot of likes, you're like, oh, I feel so good. And then when you don't, you're like, oh, I'm so depressed. And that's not how we're supposed to live our life. So we're going to talk about the role of social media in students' lives, positive and negative effects on relationships. And we'll talk about some red flags. These are like feelings like anxiety or something that you may feel when you're on social media. So I know you guys aren't here, but I could probably guess the answer to this question. What percentage of people in this class do you think are on social media? Like Instagram, Snapchat? Show what you think by raising your hand. 5 fingers is mostly every kid here. 3 is about half, and 1 is few. I'm going to go with 5. I'm just going to guess that most of you guys are on social media in some capacity. You have accounts somewhere. Maybe not everybody's on Instagram or Snapchat, but maybe you're on something else. And you are chatting and engaging with people online in some capacity. If you're not, hey, that's great. I'm glad that you were able to kind of withstand the pressure to get on social media. And maybe you have a better balance in your life, but it can be really addicting. Kids are going to sleep with their phones under their pillows. They're checking their phones like millions of times per day to see if anybody commented or liked. It's so addicting. And it can really impact mental health. And through this COVID season, I would say more so, because people are using these things even more, right? And so you do have to really, that's why we do these lessons, to bring an awareness of where are you? You have to be asking yourself, where am I? Like, do I feel like I can't stop social media? Like I have to keep checking and checking and checking and checking? Or like, are you able to just put it away and go do something? That's a good question. Even adults have the same problem. So what is social media? So I think hopefully everybody knows what these are, but they're apps, they're websites, and they allow people to create and share videos, pictures, different posts, right? And chat back and forth with each other through comments, direct messages, right? And it's like a whole social world on the internet, right? And that's your digital citizen. Remember, we talked about that. So when you use social media, you are a digital citizen, and now you're socializing through media, through digital media. So here's a study. So this is among 13 to 17-year-olds in the United States. It says, so let's see, the percent of teens with a smartphone. So it went from in 2012, 41% of teens had a smartphone. In 2018, 89% had a smartphone. Wow. So it's like crazy how much that has gone up, right? Percent of teens who use social media multiple times a day. In 2012, it was 34%. 2018, 70%. And I would say if we did the survey for the next, like since the COVID started, like 2020, 2021, this is probably up almost close to 100%. And this is probably up in like the 90s, I would say. So it says teens overwhelmingly choose Snapchat as their main social media site. So about 41% use Snapchat, 22% Instagram. Facebook seems to have become the choice for elderly people. Yeah. I don't think teens are using Facebook anymore. But so when you look at these stats, you're like, wow, it's like pretty much a part of every teen, 13 to 17-year-old's life is their phone and social media. It's Snapchat, right? Sorry, excuse me. That's a pretty big deal. That's part of their life, and that, you know, they're using that. And so that's why we really, I feel like these lessons are so important for you guys to hopefully get a hold of, you know, having a balance and knowing, like, what am I doing? So let's watch this video. I want you to think about these questions. What did teens say were some benefits of social media? And what did they say were some problems or drawbacks? So let me put it on. And you guys can listen.
When I'm sad, I like to communicate with my friends on social media, and that really makes me feel less lonely.
The thing I love most social media is to stay connected with my friends.
Over spring break, I broke my phone and I didn't have it for a week, and everyone thought I was dead. It was just so impossible to contact me.
I do get a little stressed, like when there's this huge thing that's awesome and I can't be a part of it. And that's kind of worrying. That gets like worrying sometimes.
After getting my phone, in-person interactions, it's been replaced by text and call and FaceTime.
I'm always with my friends, but when I'm not with them, I'm always talking to them on social media.
It's a lot easier to just meet up with people wherever you are, as long as you have a way to connect with them. So whether that be texting or Snapchatting or calling them, it's really easy instead of having to like communicate through your parents.
I would say it's very normal in today's world to be hanging out with people that you're close to or even not so close to, and have moments where you're both just silently sitting on your phones.
I don't really feel pressured by my friends directly to be on social media, but sometimes I'll see them get out their phone and like start looking at Instagram or something.
I think when it fills that space, there's nothing inherently wrong with it, but I do see now that seems, when that's the extent of what you do with a person, that's when it starts to bother me.
Me and my friends are on our phones a lot at the same time. I honestly don't really know why we do it while we're together, but we do.
I get like stressed out, like, oh, I'm probably missing this big thing and I can't comment on it or anything like that.
It always looks more fun when you're not there.
Even if they're doing homework, it makes it seem like they're having a great time doing whatever they're doing.
I generally don't really get that jealous of when I see like photos of my friends together. That doesn't really bug me. I definitely do check it, and sometimes I get sidetracked.
It still sucks to see that 3 or 4 of your friends are out going shopping and you're not there.
People that I know actually worry about how many followers they have compared to other people, and like if they're not getting as many messages, and it just causes so much unnecessary drama, I would say.
Followers isn't like what you should be worrying about. It should be worrying about like being with your friends and things that you like to do, like basketball or reading or other things.
If you are on your phone all the time, you will just tend to feel more lonely, low energy.
I sometimes wish that it wasn't a thing so I could just hang out with my friends and play basketball or do other things like that.
Okay, so as we watch this video, we see that, you know, some of the things that I hear the kids saying, and I can't ask you guys, but hopefully you heard the same things, is that there's some positives. You know, you can connect, you can have fun and things, but then I hear a lot of kids it sounds like, they're saying that it's kind of sad. I wish we could just get together and play basketball. I don't want to like post pictures of basketball or talk about it on social media. I just want to go do it. And I think back, to like how it used to be. I mean, you just would go play outside, and that's how it was. You'd have to come up with games outside and things, use your imagination. And now it just seems like everything is all online, That's why I feel like it's harder, because you have to make a conscious choice to say, I'm just going to put my phone away and I'm just going to go and do something else. I'm going to see if maybe I know it's hard with COVID now, but once we get through the COVID season, hey, do you want to go to actually meet up at a park and skateboard, ride bikes, I don't know, play basketball, and actually go do something at a park, right? Instead of just feeling like you are always doing something on the internet, right? Always social media connecting. So it can be a little bit tricky, I think, but it's feasible, right? If you can find a group of kids who also would just like to connect in real life, face to face, it's possible, right? And you can find it. So some other things that they mentioned about social media was something called oversharing. So this happens a lot, because I think that what happens is people think, well, I'm just typing something. And they wouldn't normally say this, like if they were in a group of people in the same room. But typing it for some reason and posting it is easier for them. And people end up regretting this a lot. They post a lot of private, personal things, and then they end up regretting it afterwards, because they're like, oh my gosh, I just posted that to everybody. Why did I do that, right? Some of you guys may even know people like this. I know I do. And they share like things about their life, and you're just like, why are they doing this? This is so, I feel embarrassed for them, And so hopefully you guys can stop yourselves and think before you post anything, any things about what you're doing, your day, right? And you be really careful that you're not oversharing, because always remember, whatever you post, somebody can easily get that information. It doesn't just go away even when you delete it. And somebody can copy and paste it, take a screenshot of it. So whatever private things you're sharing, I mean, you could put yourself in a pretty bad position if you share things and you overshare. So please be careful what you post. Think about it and be like, would I be okay if the whole world knew this, right? You can ask yourself that. So let's reflect on a few things. Posting on social media allows me to connect with people who have the same interests I do. So I think that can be a positive thing, right? Connecting with people, maybe, like I know I'm on a lot of groups. I joined a lot of school counseling groups that I post on. I don't know the people, they don't know me, but we're all school counselors. We all went to a school counseling program in college, and we share ideas with each other. Like I could hear about and these are all throughout the United States. I feel like that's been helpful. I like doing that. I've even been on a lot of parenting ones, because I'm a parent and I like to hear people's ideas and things. So I feel like, I'm an adult. So maybe for you guys, like there's a game you like and everybody's on there and talking about it, or something like that, right? A band that you like, a music group, and you have like similar interests. So you just like to see what their posts are. So that can be a positive thing. If you're having a bad day, social media makes it worse. You scroll through and see how great everyone else's life seems. It's depressing. So I would say this is definitely a negative impact of social media, right? Maybe you're like, you failed your test and you're just feeling ugly today, inside and out. And then you scroll through and you're like, oh, they look perfect. Why do they always get A+ on everything? And their life looks so amazing. And then you're just feeling even more depressed. So you kind of have to know your mental state and know your limit, where you could stop yourself and be like, maybe today's not a good day for me to go on social media, because I'm obviously in a pretty bad state in my mind. And so I don't want, what if I see things that make me feel depressed? So you have to know your limit. Building real relationships with people is much easier face to face. those relationships are stronger and last longer. So what do you guys think? Positive impact? Yeah, positive impact. You meet friends at school, maybe on a sports team, maybe at church, some extracurricular thing, and you build those friendships face to face. It's nice to get together with those people, right? And to be able to actually make a friendship with them, right? So that's definitely something that's important. And that can be a negative of social media, is that you're on with these people, but they're not really your friends. Just because they're a friend on social media doesn't mean that they're a real friend, right? Social media isn't really about connecting with other people. It's just about showing off who you are and who you want people to think you are. So that definitely, I believe, has truth to it, right? Because when you think about social media, people just try to post the best of their lives, pictures that make them look amazing, making it look like their life is so much fun and so perfect, and everybody's like just like my life, look how amazing it is, right? So it's so true, because they want you to think their life is like that, but is it really? We don't know, because we don't live in their life. And again, if we're not really hanging out with them as real friends and face to face, we have no idea what their life is like. So definitely be wary, I would say, of people's lives on social media. It's not always how it seems, right? They may be embellishing their life on there. So a red flag feeling, this is something that can happen. Like we just talked about a few minutes ago, you're like scrolling through and you're starting to get depressed. That's a red flag feeling that you need to stop, right? If something makes you feel uncomfortable, worried, sad, anxious, that means it's time to take a break from social media, because it's causing you to feel negative emotions and it's having a negative impact. And so you have to really be careful, because this can happen pretty quickly when you're on social media. And then it can wreck your day if you're unable to really stop the way that you're thinking and be like, oh my gosh, I need to take a break from this, right? And you don't know how to build yourself up again. That can be pretty hard to deal with. So you do want to stop and think about that, and start to recognize and get an awareness when you're having these feelings, how to stop what you're doing. Okay, so we're going to be going through, let me pull it open. So we have this sheet here that you guys are going to fill out for your homework. Let me read through it with you. So this is, let me make it bigger. Let's read the dilemma. For months, Ada and her 3 closest friends had been waiting for a new movie to come out. The movie was based on one of their favorite books, and they promised they would see it all together and then go out for pizza. On the movie's opening weekend, Ada had a last-minute emergency and wasn't able to go. The others decided to go anyway because they had really been looking forward to it. That night, they posted constantly about their fun and their new inside jokes. And Ada wanted to keep connected, but she kept seeing constant posts that bummed her out. She felt like no one even cared that she missed out on their plans. So this is something, maybe this happened to you in the past. Friends are doing something and they're posting on it. They're tagging each other and like little videos and things. And then you're starting to really feel bummed out that you weren't there. So you have to go through these questions. It says, who are the different people involved in the scenario? What dilemma or challenge are they facing? So we know it's Ada and her 3 closest friends, right? And she wasn't able to go to the movies, but they were, and now they're posting about it. And she's really starting to feel bummed out. What do you think each person in the dilemma is feeling, and why might the situation be hard or challenging for each of them? So we already know Ada's feeling bummed out because it told us, but I wonder about the other friends. I mean, do you think they're even thinking about her? Are they just having fun and they forgot about her? I mean, we don't really know, right? I mean, you'd hope if they were good friends that they would be like, oh, poor Ada, and they would be like, hey, I'll see the movie with you again, you know? Okay, imagine how the situation could be handled. Come up with as many ideas as possible. There's no one right answer. Then highlight which option might lead to the most positive outcome. where most people feel good or taken care of. I mean, one thing I could think of is what if could they just wait for another night when Ada could go? Could they offer seeing the movie again with her? I don't know. So you guys come up with some ideas. Thinking more about the idea that you choose for handling the situation, what could the people say? So how would they say it? What would they say? So kind of write out a conversation. And then here's a few other questions to think about. What if it was a regular sleepover rather than a movie outing? Should the friends reschedule or stick with their plans without Ada? What if the friends posted comments and captions on their pics saying they were sorry Ada was not with them? Like, Ada, wish you were here. I don't know, would that have helped or hurt more? Does it make a difference why Ada couldn't attend? What if her emergency was that her mom was in the hospital? And what if it was that, or what if it was that she'd been grounded for sneaking out of her house? We don't know, right? So again, I'm trying to get you guys, this kind of ties into like our second step lessons where we think about empathy, right? And I feel like people do not use empathy on social media. They just, if anything, it's like the reverse. They try to make people feel bad and they just want to post their best things and people feel excluded. But like, I feel like for you guys, because we're a Christian school, we value empathy. You know, that's one of our values, is thinking about other people, and that we always want to be encouraging and uplifting to other people. And so I want you to kind of think through that lens, through that perspective, as you work through this scenario and you try to come up with a plan. You know, think of it through empathy, right? How are each of the people feeling? And then there's a short quiz that goes along with this. So these are just a few questions. So it says, Julie scrolls through her social media feed and it seems like everyone's life is so exciting and hers is so boring. She starts to feel bad about herself. What should Julie be paying attention to right now? So think about it. Is it oversharing, red flag feeling, or miscalculation? The next couple of questions are, you choose if it's positive or negative. Connecting with family who live far away. Is that positive or negative to use social media? What about commenting or liking posts to support friends? Feeling like you have to post or share constantly, and oversharing something that you wish you hadn't. So you just select positive or negative. Adam wanted to go to the movies with Daniel and some other friends, but couldn't make it. Daniel posted pictures he took while at the movies with their friends. After seeing the post, Adam started feeling uncomfortable. Why might Adam get a red flag feeling from seeing Daniel's post? This is similar to the one with Ada. And then thinking through the feelings and options steps, which we'll talk about those. What can you do if something on social media gives you a red flag feeling? So let me go back to that in the lesson. So number one, you always want to identify like what's going on in the scenario. And then you want to, number two, how are you feeling? How are the other people feeling? You want to think about the feelings part. And then you want to imagine different options, right? And remember, you can't always control the options, right? Because you can't control other people. And so if they're your real friends and you're able to share your feelings and they don't care about you, I mean, that's pretty sad then. You know, you might want to be like, gosh, you guys really hurt me. Or maybe it means they're not really your friends. But if they are, you know, and you share your feelings and they're like, well, of course we don't want you to feel bad. Like, we will wait for you, you know? And so you always want to be thinking about what you can say and like imagining the different options. And that's important with social media, I think, is to always pause and ask yourself, how will this make you feel? How is it making you feel? What are your options? And choosing the one that you would be the most okay with moving forward. And always, always thinking before you share anything, so that way you don't overshare. You want to protect yourself online and protect your identity online, especially because of your digital footprint, right? That everything you post and say, it's permanent and it's out there. So you do want to be careful with that. Something else, I'm having a lot of the older grades participate in this. It's a confidential survey. I'm going to be sending it to you through COVID season. It's a technology survey. So I would like you to please answer the questions in the survey as honestly as you can. This is going to help me to get a gauge of where everyone is at here as far as their technology use and just their feelings and their coping and everything through this season. So please fill that out over the break. And so that way I can get it back, okay? So if you have any questions about this topic, you wanna talk more, maybe you're struggling with like social media addiction, you can't put it down, technology addiction, reach out to me, okay? Like I literally come here every day for you guys. I know I don't see you, I wish I did, but I come here for you guys because I really feel like this is so relevant and so important in your lives right now. And I want you guys, I mean, my personal goal is I want you guys to be world changers. I don't want you getting sucked up in some technology tornado and wasting your life staring at a screen. I want you to be the ones coming up with the new apps and impacting the world, you know? And I want to see the glory of God coming out through your lives in the future. You guys are the future of our world, you know, and that's really, so please reach out to me. If you want to talk about any of these things, we can meet confidential and talk in private about anything if you're struggling or whatever, okay? All right, guys, so have a good break. Please catch up on anything that you're missing. There's no reason why anyone should fail technology class. I mean, these things, like everything is laid out for you. You could easily set aside 30 or 40 minutes once a week and get everything done. I mean, I give you the answers to everything half the times. I mean, please put your effort. This is a reflection of your character, you know, what you care about. So please put the effort in. And these are topics that are so relevant right now, you know, this is part of your life. So I will see you guys. Okay, bye guys.